Hello, I'm Mr. Lewis, and you have been invited to join our Chivalry camp. That's right, Chivalry. It's a word that I'm sure you may not know much about, but I'm going to tell you about it in a little bit. But first of all, let me tell you who we are. We are the Monica Lewis School of Etiquette, and I am the co-founder of the Monica Lewis School of Etiquette. We teach manners, etiquette, and protocol to children, teens, adults across the world, and you are a part of our virtual campus. We call it VCamp. So, if you haven't done so already, log on to your VCamp. You have received the instructions. Log on to VCamp and find the Chivalry section. In that section, you'll find everything you'll need for your course as we go through our meetings together. Now, the first lesson is going to be an important lesson because it's going to be all about memory. Memory is going to be the biggest tool you'll need in order to complete these courses. Well, now let's get right to it. I'm going to let you know right now our classes are going to be fast-paced, but they're going to be jam-packed with information. So if I go too fast, you can always stop and rewind. If I go too slow, you can speed it up. But what you should not do is miss any of our classes. So hopefully you're ready. Let's begin. The first thing you need to know is, what is chivalry? Chivalry is a medieval term that goes back all the way to the 13th century. I'm talking about the time of King Arthur. I'm talking about the Knights of the Round Table, Lord of the Rings, all of those things. You know, Fortnite, it's all based on medieval culture and war and crimes, all of those things. But chivalry has nothing to do with war or crime, but it's a code of conduct that was established amongst warriors. So that means if you practice chivalry, you indeed are a warrior. However, I'm not expecting you to get on a horse and fight a fight. I'm expecting you, though, to conduct yourself as a mighty man. Well, I am your coach. I'm your plug. I'm your hookup. I'm the person that's going to take your skills from just being a guy to a gent. But you must allow me to do so. If you want to talk dining, I'm the person. You want to talk confidence, I'm your guy. You need to talk etiquette, hey, you got me. We'll even cover dining. But most importantly, what we want to do is make sure that you shine and rise above. Now, there are 5 principles that you need to know. Every chivalrous man is guided by these 5 core principles. Are you ready? Let's think about it. Let's write it down. Take your notes, screenshot it. We'll put it on the screen. Okay, the first one is, number 1, it is courage. That's right, courage. Courage is your ability to do the things that make other people afraid. Doesn't mean that you're not afraid of those things, but it means that you're willing to face that fear and you're willing to conquer your fear for the sake of others, not just to make yourself look good. It's not, courage isn't courage when you're doing it just to show off or brag. No. Courage is when you're willing to do what makes other people afraid. Meaning, if you're willing to speak up, if you're willing to stand up, if you're willing to do something that causes other people to kind of push back and cower and be afraid and quiet, then you, my friend, have courage. The second thing is honor. That's right, honor. I'm not just talking about an award, but I'm talking about respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. It's an old school song by a lady named Aretha Franklin. Some of you may know them. Some of you may not know who she is. But if you don't know who she is, Google her. But she sang that song and it's true. Honor and respect go hand in hand. They're synonymous, which means that they are interchangeable. You can say, I honor someone just as easily as you say you respect someone. But the basis of honor is because that person deserves it. Because they're a human. It has no other basis. It requires no other effort or energy on your part to respect anyone other than they're human. So we respect each other. We respect everyone always. When you are a chivalrous man, you never find an issue with respecting someone. There's never any reason to disrespect someone, no matter how weak their jump shot is or how whack their shoe game is. It doesn't matter. We respect everyone always. The third core principle that we guide ourselves by is courtesy, meaning we're kind. Courtesy. We're kind to everyone, regardless of what you look like, where you live, where you're going, how old you are. We're courteous. And we're courteous without the expectation of receiving anything in return. So if we hold the door for you, we don't expect you to say thank you. But if you do, we're appreciative. Courtesy is extended to everyone, anywhere, always. The fourth principle leads me to this one. It's an important principle. It's called justice. I'm not talking about the justice that you see on TV like Judge Judy or some of the other court shows, or maybe even if you were watching some of the other shows like the First 48. I'm not talking about justice in those cases. I'm talking about justice in terms of being fair and being right. When we operate in justice, we seek fairness for all without regard to color, without regard to location, without regard to gender or age. We seek fairness for all. So, what's fair for me should be fair for you. I won't mistreat you, therefore you should not mistreat me. It's based on the golden rule. Have you ever heard the golden rule? If you don't know the golden rule, I'll tell you. The golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Simple. That's why we seek justice. If you've ever seen an image of justice, it's a statue, but the eyes of justice are blind, which means that we don't have any reason to discriminate. There's no reason for it. There's no need for it. Therefore, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, spoken by the Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, let's move to our last thing. It's called service. Service is being ready and willing to help anytime, any place, without the expectation of payment, meaning it's the willingness to volunteer to help someone who may need your help. It's the willingness to lend a helping hand. It's the willingness to jump in and use your resources or your skills to make someone else better. We do this all the time during the holidays when we may think about people who are less fortunate, or we may even do it sometimes in practice when we're trying to help someone improve their game or improve their score, especially if we're playing on a team. But service is all about being ready and willing to help. When you're ready and willing to help others, others will be ready and willing to help you. So our 5 principles are courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and service. These 5 principles make up the code of chivalry. Now, I want you in your first assignment for us is going to be to decide which of the 5 core principles will you use as your leading principle. Will it be service? Will it be justice? Will it be courtesy, honor, or service? Any of these 5 core principles are all great principles to live your life by, but you should pick one and make that your guiding principle. Tell me which one it is. Send it to me. Now, before we go, I want you to remember this saying. It's going to be our exit strategy, our exit slogan, if you will. At the end of every class, we're going to say this all together. All right? So, are you ready? Repeat after me. There is a destiny that makes us brothers. No one goes his own way alone. What we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. We'll say that again. There's a destiny that makes us brothers. No one goes his own way alone. What we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. One more time, and this time, when we get to the end, we're going to hold up not 1 fist, but 2. All right, here we go. There's a destiny that makes us brothers. No one goes his own way alone. What we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. All right, now, until our next class, I want you to remain courteous, remain honorable, remain courageous, seek justice, and help others. Stay chivalrous, my friends.